Welcome back, everyone. Today we got the 500i big bore. This works out to just about 85 cc's. And we had some issues with the plating, trying to locate a plater. So I decided just to do another iron sleeve. Luckily, the Wiseco uses a chrome plated ring, so it should work really well. But it's all together. Max flow, big bore. Did 3 different size mufflers. So we'll show the build, all the different results, and even cut with it a little bit. Get a few heat cycles on it, and this one's going right into a production setting. So we'll see how well the iron liner holds up, how well the Wiseco holds up, and the ring. Alright, let's get to it. So here we have 500i big bore version 1.5. Well, it turns out all the platers don't want to plate anymore, so we're still looking for one of those. Since it was going to take a while, I decided we'd just sleeve one. So here's the 500i cylinder at 58 millimeter. So we got a sleeve spun up. I'm going to poke the holes in the sleeve. We'll drop it in, port it up like we have the last few big bores. So this will be the first iron bore 500i. But we'll get to that. Get this finished up, drop this in the toaster oven, get it warmed up. And here's the finished sleeve. This will be the squish band side, base side. Those will be the uppers. It's the exhaust. The other set of uppers. That's the intake port. So like I said, we'll get this heated up and drop the sleeve right in. The sleeve's going to have about a 3/1000 interference or press fit, whichever you want to call it. You can see it don't fit in there right now. Once this jug heats up, we'll be able to drop it right down. And when the jug cools, it'll lock it in place. Once it's in and lined up, we'll finish boring it. We'll leave 5 to 8 thousandths of material to hone out. Then we'll set it up, cut the squish band, cut the base. We'll cut the squish band, that way we can oversize into the sleeve to give us a spot for the hone to go into. Otherwise, you'll leave a ridge right at the very top of the bore. So we'll do that. Then we'll be able to port it up and then run it. So hopefully all that stuff goes well. Alrighty, gonna drop in this 500i sleeve. That one did not drop. There it did. There it went. Need that little bit of extra. That's what happens. You get too much room. Too bad. Now we'll just have to cross our fingers and hope it didn't crack. That's why we started putting these in on the press, just in case that little correction is needed. So this is what we have with the 500i. Since nobody wanted to plate it, we sleeved it. Widen the exhaust, set at 100. Transfer set at 120. Intake at 85.5. Have right about 2.5 thousandths wall clearance. It's going to run the 56 millimeter Wiseco. And squish is right at 24 thousandths. So we'll get this all cleaned up and stuck down. Now this Wiseco ring, it does have a chrome type coating on it. So to run these rings, which will actually work great in this cast iron, you need iron or a Nicosil bore. These chrome rings do not play well with the factory steel coating. So if you do order one of these Wisecos for a steel cylinder, or a cylinder you don't know if it's Nikasa, you should get the Caber cast iron ring. Alright, got the cylinder stuck down now. A little bit of oil in the bore. Help that chrome ring seat in. Fairly excited about this one. I really wish I could have got the plating done. But it's looking like it might be a couple months plus if we can even find anybody. Still waiting on some return phone calls. Got impatient and figured might as well sleeve it. Still have this other cylinder just in case the plater calls and decides they want to do it. Make sure everything's tight. There we go. Now one thing with these 500i's, since they're all magnet basically, make sure there's no metal pieces stuck to your flywheel. If you get some metal pieces in there, it'll chew it all up. Put this clutch back on. Alright, so this one's getting the max flow. They updated their design a little bit to fit the 500 a bit better. So we'll get this filter oiled up and get it all put on. So we opened up the can, had that little deflector in there. Get this put on. For now, we're just going to slap on this front exhaust outlet. Plenty open. We'll see what it does. But we'll put this on, make sure it fires up, make sure it's going to run. Sure hope it runs. Alrighty, there it is. Put some fuel in it and see if it works. Alright, wish me luck. Definitely has a little vibration to it, but I think that's going to work. Pretty nifty. Alright, so we're going to get a compression reading on this thing. I didn't get one stock, but I don't think this one's pushing too awful much compression. So we'll see. Well, according to that, it's only about 130 psi. It feels light, but I don't think it's that light. It could be. But this does have that adapter. These running adapter to get down to the little 10mm plug. That could be throwing the rating off, but maybe not. But that's what I got on that gauge, 130 psi, which, if that's the case and that ring seats and we can get some actual compression, the power will probably really jump. But just want to show up close. Said other than the max flow and the crazy muffler outlet, which will probably go back to a single pipe. Just because there's no need to check the piston the whole time. But saw still runs good, acts perfectly normal with that style muffler. Fuel injection seems to keep up. All in all, pretty happy with this one. Just for grins and giggles, we're gonna see if a little bit more free-flowing muffler outlet helps this one at all. They're not that it likes more muffler outlet, that's for sure. So we might even try a little bit more. All right, I want to try this out. That's a little aggressive, but not a whole lot bigger than what a straight shot or a bark box would be. So add some extra cover, so we'll try it out. Well, here's the results. I know we got a lot of lines on the screen, but all the numbers in the box, these are the max torque and the max horsepower for each one of these. We got the big bore large muffler, medium muffler, small muffler. This was a stock 500i, and that's one of my normal ported 500i's. Just picked the middle of the road one, just to show the difference of this big bore. You can see that's a stock one. This is one of the notorious rich runs. Like I said, they fluctuate a little bit. If I get a good run that stretches out on a stock one, power will be up a little bit higher. But they're all right around that 7 to 7.4 horse, which is here to here. Then we have one of our normal ported 500i's. This run behaved. Nice flat power curve. And it reaches right out. Then we got the red line. This is the small muffler big bore. You can see that smaller muffler restricts it up a little bit, doesn't let it reach out as high up top. But it still keeps pretty much the same type of torque. 5.72 foot-pounds max. 5.76 for the medium muffler, which that line's right here in the middle. Keeps a little bit better torque and winds out just a little bit higher up top. Then we did the extra large, pretty much obnoxious muffler. Just under 9 horse with the larger outlet. It's all upper RPM range. It gave up a little bit of torque. This big bore being the iron sleeve in that chrome ring, this will probably do pretty well once everything fully seats in. This Weisco piston, the extra wide skirts, they allow a lot to happen with the porting. This is nowhere near maxed out for what this piston can do. Just because this is going into a production setting. This one's going out to drop trees and see how well the sleeve and the piston holds up. I really wanted it plated, but we can't find any platers. They all decided they don't want to do blind bores, and I didn't really want to cut the head off for a work saw. So this is what we ended up with. I knew I could whip up a sleeve, knew it would work, and looking at it, the extra displacement, said this works out right at 85 cc's. And we got a nice bump in torque all the way, and a little bit better power. Now I know if you were to push a regular bore 500i, you could probably get close to similar horsepower up here. but it's not going to have the low end pull of the larger saw. That's the whole reason for the larger saw. So we'll get this all set up. We'll get this one sent out. I want to run a full tank through it, but overall I'm pretty happy with it. And I'll report back once I hear back from the owner. See how it holds up, if it holds up, what's good, what's bad, what's different. Alright, let me know what you guys think. Thanks a lot, everyone.